Hello and welcome back to my channel, Mend with Mare. Okay, hello, you beautiful beings. Thank you for being here. I am going to try out a new artist to me, but probably not to you all. I'm going to be doing Phoebe Bridgers' song Motion Sickness. But before I get into that, I want to address a few things. Some of you have asked me how to send payments to me, and I was thinking a lot about it. I never started this YouTube channel to make money. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to create a following because the publishing world is really funky and I really want to publish 2 of my books so badly. It's a dream of mine. It dawned on me that maybe I shouldn't keep trying to go through publishing companies and I should just publish myself, self-publish. So if you all do send me any type of payments, I promise you it'll go towards self-publishing because I've been rejected by, let's get out the list. So Harbinger rejected me. Chronicle, I never heard back from, and I still love you, Chronicle books. They're the best. I have so many of their card decks too. Pessie Publishing, I came really close, but wasn't able to seal the deal. Cider Mill Press, Quirk Books, my husband. Just kidding. Not really. You gotta laugh. You gotta make jokes to handle the sadness. I have decided that I'm gonna just take it into my own hands because why not? I think that self-publishing is something that a lot of us have to do if we're not given the opportunities to get in the room with somebody that we know or some type of connections, which I don't really have. So anyways, if you do want to support me with it, I will happily put it toward finally making my dream come true. The book is called Hey Addiction, Thanks for Nothing. It's a brutally honest guide to loving an addict without losing your mind. The loved ones of addicts that have become collateral damage in the midst of the addiction of their loved one. So it's for them, and it has some of my artwork in it, some funny, weird artwork. It's kind of like a self-help memoir, but okay. Enough about that. I know that you all recommended this song to me to review, and I don't know her. I know that she was on a Taylor Swift song, Nothing New, which I listened to really quickly. She seemed to have a pretty voice. Last night, I did get on and just Google about her really fast without listening to the song. And I read that she dated Ryan Adams when she was 20 and he was 40. So I just want to address again this age difference. I'd gotten a lot of comments from people that felt as if I was just putting all the blame on the older men and that I wasn't taking into account that there's free will and people will date whomever they would like to date. But a big thing is just we can't forget is the developmental stage that someone's in as a young adult. When you're that young, you're just figuring out who you are. You're also trying to differentiate yourself from your family and figure out what that means and what your identity is as an adult person who isn't having to rely on figuring out who you are as an adult person. And that means that you need to have the opportunity to explore, of course, and you are going to deal with so many different changes and it's your time to evolve. That's why that time period is so essential. At the same time, my friend Kate was talking to me about this and she was saying how, the term which isn't great that you hear is failure to launch. So if somebody gets stuck back in high school, if they never evolve into adulthood, they weren't able to launch themselves into their new identity and new world, then they kind of stay stuck back and they don't progress to the next developmental stage. And during this stage, there is a real desire to experience love and relationships and to explore that. But that also complicates things because you're trying to figure out not only your own life, but your life in relation to your sexual relationships when you're going through this period of time. So if you're a 20-year-old, you're just figuring this out. And for somebody who is in their 40s or their 30s, they've already gone through this stage already. They've already figured it out, so they don't need to explore it in the same way that a young person would. Depending on the type of experiences that you have during this time when you're forming your identity as an adult person, separate now from your childhood, this is the time that different schemas get formed in your life. So schemas is a psychology term, and it basically means just a mental concept. It's what provides information to an individual about what to expect from diverse experiences and situations. These schemas are developed and based on life experiences, and they often provide a guide to one's cognitive processes and behaviors. What does that even mean? That means that you are figuring out how to interpret and understand the world around you. And typically during this developmental stage, this is when you start to create your framework for how you view life and how you view events that might happen in the rest of your life and how you might handle them. It doesn't mean that these schemas can't be changed or healed or worked through if they were problematic, but at the same time, your experiences during this time really are a contributing factor to how you view the world around you, your own perception of how things are. That is why someone that's older maybe should understand the fact that a person that young would be going through this. You don't have as much life experience, and that could be to their benefit so that they can do certain things that maybe you can't catch on to. And when you have a limited dating experience, you're not totally prepared for the psychological issues that a significantly older person might have or the tactics that they might use to trap you. Because if you were dating somebody, I don't know, that's also college aged, you could probably see through their stuff a little bit more than if it's an older person. Also, if the relationship became abusive, you might not have the financial means to get out of it. It's very hard to be an equal in this relationship because you have to learn what your boundaries are, and you're not really on the same playing field when it comes to setting the terms of the relationship, because you might not even know what the terms in a relationship are yet because you don't have the experience, and that's what they have on you. So it's a power dynamic, and I can go on and on and on about this, but I hope that this helps give some context. Also, I want to call out another big part of this, why this power dynamic exists, is because when you're a young person, your prefrontal cortex or your prefrontal lobe has not fully developed yet. And this is the part of the brain that helps with decision making. And so if that's not fully formed, you aren't able to make decisions in the same way that an older person would be able to make them. And this is really ironic that, I review a lot of Taylor Swift songs, and Ryan Adams redid her whole 1989 album, and I loved it. And sometimes I wonder, I'm like, did he do that to legitimize himself a little bit more? I know he was a very well-known Grammy award-winning artist, but I'm like, why did he cover all of Taylor's songs, even though I totally get it? But it is a little odd to me though, because I'm like, oh, was this actually part of like a bigger plan of how he worked young women in because of their love for Taylor Swift? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. Anyways, let's just get into the song. Let's see what the song brings up. Okay, first of all, she has a beautiful voice, very soothing, and already, I hate you for what you did, and I miss you like a little kid. I feel that. And this is where you can have confusing, complex emotions around a person or a relationship. You can hate them for the way that they treated you, but also have this weird missing them like a little kid. And when I think about her missing him like a little kid, when you're little and you just want attention and to feel good and validation. So I'm wondering if he gave her that at one point, and that's something that she's being so raw and honest about missing. I have a feeling this one might be a doozy. I faked it every time, but that's all right. I'm sensing a jab. Is my mind in the gutter when she says she faked it every time, but that's all right? You all know what she's faking. Sometimes you have to do it. Oh my. Okay. Making me blush a little bit, Phoebe. Yeah. I don't know what to say. It's just 3 lines in, and I'm so like whiplash. So hate you for what you did. Miss you like a little kid. I faked it every time, but that's all right. Oh, okay. Let's keep going. I can hardly feel anything. I hardly feel anything at all. Okay, now that's really sad. Now I feel bad for laughing because she's feeling numb. You gave me 1,500 to see your hypnotherapist. I only went one time. You let it slide. Okay, so this 40-year-old man is giving this 20-year-old woman $1,500 to see his hypnotherapist. probably because, if there's something wrong with him and he needs a hypnotherapist, then she does too. This happens all the time where it's like some people try to convince you that you're also have a problem too when they're actually the problem. So she's saying that he gave her money. That's another symbol of a power dynamic, that he can give that $1,500, and that she probably didn't have to spend it on something like a hypnotherapist. It would be great at 20 if you were able to do that. Jeez. And she said that she only went one time, but he let it slide. That makes it feel a little bit like a parent too. Like he had some control over her, obviously. I mean, giving her money, that he could even let it slide. It's like, okay, well, when he didn't let it slide, how would you know? Like, what did he do to let you know that something wasn't okay? And the fact that he's even in the position to let it slide, as if that's something that she did wrong. Whoa. Okay, where have I been? Like, where have I been? She's already so amazing. Where have I been? Hard times a year ago, was hoping you would let it go, you did. I have motion sickness. Somebody roll the windows down. Okay. I'm stopping so much. Motion sickness. That is when your brain does not understand the information that your eyes or your ears or that your body is sending to it. So that can happen when you are in the car. You can get car sick, you can get air sick. This feeling is not good. You feel super queasy and nauseous, like you're gonna throw up. And when I even hear motion sickness, I feel a little like this feeling inside of me, because I had a really hard pregnancy and I had really bad morning sickness. It was more like all day sickness. And so I remember just cars or turns that would go too fast or anything. It's just like, it would come up. And so this is such a good symbol for what it's like when you're in a toxic relationship, when it can feel like a roller coaster and there's bumps in the road and you're just getting like this motion sickness from all of the changes and having to deal with maybe their feelings and their changing mood swings and their behaviors and trying to keep up with it. So she's saying, somebody roll the windows down. Like you're in the car and you're getting motion sickness. Sometimes you have to stick your head out the window just to get a little bit of air to feel better. Oh, it's like I can feel this right now. I can feel it. No words in the English language. I can scream to drown you out. There's no words in the English language. I can scream to drown you out. This is like PTSD symptoms after a really abusive relationship. When there's like nothing that you can do or say to make the memories go away or to drown out their voice even in your own head. Because just like I was saying before, when you're in that developmental stage in your life, it forms how you view the world around you and your relationship to it. And so I'm sure any future relationship that she had, it was probably difficult to drown out his voice because it was likely so strong because of the trauma that she endured. I'm on the outside looking through. You're throwing rocks around your room, and while you're bleeding on your back in glass, I'll be glad that I made it out and sorry that it all went down like it did. Okay. Wow. So she's saying that she's on the outside looking in. For a quick second, I was thinking she was describing disassociation, like feeling like you're outside of your body and like watching your life as if it's a movie or something like that. But that's not, I think, what's going on here. But what I think that she's doing here is she's talking about this saying, people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And this saying means people who have faults should not criticize other people for having the same faults. So she's saying, while you're throwing rocks around in your room, and these rocks that he's throwing in a glass house, will then shatters. The illusion that he's created will shatter. He'll fall on his back on the glass that he did to himself, essentially. When he was accusing her of things that he was also at fault for. And so when he's on his back bleeding in the glass, she's gonna say, I'm glad I just made it out. I'm glad that I made it out of that house. Sounds like she's disappointed that it even had to go down like that. She probably never wanted it that way. Somebody roll the windows down. There are no words in the English language. I can scream to drown you out. She's saying that he sings with an English accent. Oh my god, he kind of does. Oh yeah, he does. He does. It's funny because a lot of English singers sing with an American accent because they say that it's easier to sing in English with an American accent than an English accent. So it's really funny that he's singing with an English. She's really smart, man. I feel like I'm on a roller coaster. Like 1 second it's like, this is traumatizing. And then the next it's like, you know? Guess it's too late to change it now. You know, I'm never gonna let you have it. I'll try to drown you out. What does she mean by that? Is she talking about she'll never let him have part of her accomplishments, that she's going to do it on her own? She'll never let him have it, meaning have a spot on one of her songs or a credit to her accomplishments or a credit on her writing, or she's never going to let him sing in his English accent on any of her songs. I don't know. Okay, I thought I was gonna let it keep playing and I can't let that go. So he's saying that when he met her, I mean that's kind of just such a jab at her that he was bored. Like she's just easy, like she's not someone special. And then she's saying that you were in a band when I was born. What are you doing with her? Who does that? I mean, that's just giving us the facts, and the facts alone lead us to make our own interpretations as listeners of this song. It's this realization I feel like she's having where it's like, you were in a band. Year I was born, and now you're with me when I'm 20 and you're 40. This line is just deeply cutting in the best way. Truly, it shows how messed up it is. It's kind of like she's saying, like, I didn't know it at the time, but now I know what you did was wrong. It's sort of a line for vindication. She's not making us connect all of the dots. She's just putting out the details, the facts of the relationship, which lays down the fundamental wrongness of Ryan Adams really getting involved, promising her that he would give her a career, getting in a relationship with her, and then discarding her as well. So she tries to stay clean and live without. She tries not to fall back into those patterns and back into the toxicity that's there. She's trying to stay clean of it, but she's also wondering at the same time, she wants to know what would happen if I surrender to the sound. Wow. This song I'm going to be thinking about for days to come. I feel like I need to do a follow-up video because there's so much going on here. And I feel as if there's just so much exploitation, him totally taking advantage of a young person. And unfortunately, he doubted her and others in their ability to speak out because he's powerful. He's able to mentor artists to sign them. If he has a record label, I don't know, but he was in such a power position. The facts that she gives in this song allows us to connect the dots, and I think that it's just so beautiful and disturbing. I wish that I could go into every high school classroom and do a talk on this about power dynamics and the issues with dating and entering a relationship, both that's having to do with your career and also then being mixed with sexual desires and persuasion, and help young people to understand these better so that they are better equipped with how they approach their futures, because it just hits home in so many ways. So don't have much more to say. I'm sorry. I have a lot to think about and did not anticipate to feel this confused and kind of gutted by the song. I feel a little sick from it myself. All right. All of you be well. Like and subscribe. Sending you my love.